All right, we're up. Um, so the protests have continued, and I wanted to talk real quick. Like last episode, we kind of went heavy for like 40 minutes. So I don't want us to. I mean, it's important to document that stuff, but we're here not to be that heavy that long. So let's try and let's try and if we're gonna have some heavy topics, let's try and make them a little bit shorter and get to the lighter stuff quicker. Because people got enough heavy shit in their lives these days, like fucking, your cell phone service going down for half a day or whatever. Um, is it a sign of the apocalypse? I don't know, but whoever that hacker fuck was or hacker group, fuck off. I hope you get COVID. Um, anyways, so one of the things that I noticed is people are trying to lump in all of these different incidents into like the same category, and I don't think that that's accurate. So, like Floyd was an obvious systemic police brutality type of issue or training when there's so many it could be racist thing. I don't know. For me it's more the power that the police have and not being regulated and being allowed to do these things and have the unions protect them and have their fellow coworkers cover for them and all of that stuff. So for me, that's more of a systemic thing. But if there was some racism involved, I could see that. I'm not saying that there wasn't. But the case in Louisiana where they did Breonna Taylor, I think is her name, where they did the no knock warrant. And this is a serious question. And I'm not trying to make light of anything. So I hope nobody takes it that way. I'm just asking the question because it needs to be asked. Do you think the results would have been any different in that incident if the people were white?
I mean, that's a valid point. I don't
Well,
know.
well, think about it, right? If I read the story correctly, um, cops busted in. The boyfriend started busting shots. Is
Yeah.
that, I don't know if he was boyfriend, husband, whatever. If I don't think at that point you're seeing any colors, racist or not racist. I think if you're getting shot at, you shoot back if you're a police officer. So I think if the people were white, if the people were Indian, if the people were Asian, if the people were Russian, if the no matter what they were, Brazilian, Samoan, it doesn't matter. I think whoever was in that apartment was going to get got that way if that scenario played out the same way. Now, in that case, is the problem a racial thing or is it more of a, no knock warrant thing? Is it again, a systemic issue where maybe you shouldn't be able to do these things for nonviolent crimes, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you break into someone's house in the middle of the night with a no knock warrant, they don't know that you're the police.
Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
they start busting off shots,
Which is
I
why they
mean,
let the dude go,
yeah,
because they didn't charge the guy who shot at them, right? I mean,
yeah,
initially they did, but they let him go. So I guess the point is that those people, I don't think that was a racial thing. I think that was a systemic failure by the police force and by the laws that we have. which is why they already changed, or I think they were working on changing. I don't know if it got approved or whatever, but they were working on changing those no knock warrant laws. Um, and then you get you if you transition to what happened in Georgia with the case where the guy was jogging and the guys hunted him down and basically killed him.
Yeah.
Um, to me that's obviously a racial issue, but it's not a police issue. So you see what I'm saying? Like everybody's lumping everything into one cause, or they're trying to lump everything into, you know, into one category, when in reality, if you look at these different things, I think the one thing is clear in most of the cases that involve the police is there's a systemic problem. um, you know, whether it be the unions that protect them, whether it be the code of silence that they have and the way they protect each other and not call out dudes who are obviously doing wrong.
and
Um,
that's and that's no different than the streets, though. Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
you don't snitch type thing.
yeah. Snitches
Like,
get stitches.
yeah, I mean that's just the same within the police department. Like, if you are a police officer who whistleblows on other police officers, it's a difficult life for you.
Yeah, it's a movie Serpico. I mean,
Yeah.
great Al Pacino movie. In case you haven't seen it, but um, that's basically the gist of that whole movie. And I mean, I so I long story short, um, I just wanted to point out those differences. Like let's not we're so quick to rush to these mob mentalities. We're so quick to not look at all the facts and break things down and say, let's wait a minute and find out everything that happened before we start grabbing our pitchforks and our torches. Um, because a lot of times we end up with egg on our face.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, and I feel like there is two movements. There's the movement for black rights and equality that is still not there in this country. There's a systematic problem that needs to be resolved, and our government needs to figure that out. They need to figure out how to make it fair, and that's one issue. And then there's the issue of police brutality, and that's across the board. Because a lot of time the stories of black men who are gunned down are what's reported by media, but there are plenty of others who are gunned down who are like abused by police officers who've abused their power. And
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest, that's one of the bullet points that I hear from people who aren't of color. It's like, well, what about this person that was gunned down? And that message isn't heard because then it becomes a, yeah, but we're not talking about that person. We're talking about
Well,
black lives.
well, I understand that point, but I can counter with, well, if you want to do that, let's talk percentages. How what are the percentages of black people being um stopped, or black people being harassed, or black people being roughed up and assaulted versus white folks? So let's take the most recent example of what happened down in Atlanta when the black guy got shot in the back. If he was a white guy, would the same thing have happened? We don't know. We don't know. Same thing might have happened, but it's more likely that it wouldn't have happened, because I understand there's some nuance to it, the fact that he struggled and the fact that he pulled out the taser and all of that stuff, and turned back to shoot the cop with a taser. But
But a taser isn't lethal.
exactly.
A, ta- a taser isn't lethal, and there was other officers there. Where, okay, you take one tase shot, bro. You got tased. You're trained to take a tase shot.
Yep.
You have
And
other officers there who could have
and
been
and
like,
and additionally, I like to add, because when I first heard the story, like I said, I always want to wait and listen to all the facts, and that's one of the first things that I said was, if I'm looking at this objectively, and I put myself in the cop's shoes. If somebody cocks like looks back at me running away and is pointing something at me, how do I know that it was the taser he took or something else? But when you find out the facts, they had already searched him. They already searched him. He had no weapons on him, so they knew he didn't have a gun.
Yeah.
So there was no need for deadly force in that situation. So I guess the question becomes, if he was white, would they have reacted the same way? And I don't think I can't sit here and say 100% yes they would, because I don't know what I don't know what this officer was like. I don't know what upbringing he had. I don't know what power trip he might have been on. I have no idea. But if you look at all the videos, the guy seemed to be trying to cooperate as much as he could. And I think if the guy was white in that situation with that type of cooperation, maybe they say, yeah, why don't you just walk to your sister's house? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, and that's the privilege that a lot of people get that they don't understand that they get, and because they've never been in that other person's shoes. I guarantee you they'd start paying attention if black cops started smacking around white folks and killing white folks, you know, unnecessarily. I guarantee you then they'd start paying more attention to everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wanted to point out like they're all they all need to be looked at. They all need to be fixed, but they're not all the same. And you have to take each situation for what it is and understand what you need to fix for each and every scenario. Um, which leads me to, if we're talking protests and we're talking change, there's a dangerous thing going on right now with all of these removals of statues and stuff. And I'm not here to tell you that removing Confederate statues or Confederate flags or um, even, I mean, eventually what it's going to get to, removing George Washington, removing Abraham Lincoln. And in Boston, there's a statue of Lincoln kind of like holding his hand, and there's like a slave like um, on his knees or something, like almost like he's, I don't know, it's weird. But they're trying to get rid of that. Um, like, I understand the thought process of like this wasn't right, but it's a slippery slope because when you start removing things, it's not talked about, it's not remembered as well, and you end up with maybe the next Hitler.
Yeah.
Like like when does it stop? So I'm gonna give you some examples. They want to remove the statues, right? Okay, so let's remove the statues. Which, by the way, we're fucking idiots for making statues of these guys from the South, these generals and all of this shit when they lost. Trump fucking is famous for going after John McCain for for talking shit and saying he he doesn't like he got caught. Like he likes his guys not to get caught. You know what I'm saying? Like like I don't remember the exact quote, but it was pretty fucked up. But if we're going by that mentality, like the South lost, you guys rebelled against the United States. You guys rebelled against the United States, and we're like naming shit after your guys. We're making fucking statues and stuff. You guys lost. You don't get those privileges. Get the fuck out of here with that. We should have got rid of that a long time ago. Like, why are we making statues for losers? Why are we calling naming forts after losers? I don't give a fuck how good they were. They lost. They fucking lost. You can't change that. You can't change history. You lost. You shouldn't have a statue. Fuck out of here. I don't care. Only the guys with rings. Only the guys with rings get to say they won. All right? All right, motherfuckers? When you got a ring, you get a statue. If you don't got a ring, get the fuck out of here. Get that statue out of my face. Um, but but then okay, so they get rid of the statues. Now they're taking down movies. They're saying this movie is racially insensitive, blah blah blah. So they're taking down Gone with the Wind. They're taking down I forget, like a bunch of other movies. Anything with like blackface in them, TV shows,
But
they're taking down.
but but that's no different than burning books in a library.
Well, you're right. That's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting to. When does it stop? When does it stop? I heard something about they were attacking Paw Patrol. Fucking Paw Patrol, the cartoon that little kids watch with these little cartoon dogs that are part of like this little police and fire force,
Yeah,
fire
because
like
because
rescue
Chase
force.
has ever had a case of police brutality.
Like,
Yeah, good luck with that.
uh, uh, like when do Jesus Christ? And that's my point. Dude, they want to rename Space Mountain because of some bullshit like uh racial connotations from some movie of what it was named, or some ridiculous like we're talking about a fucking amusement ride. Who goes to fucking Space Mountain and thinks about even the origins of it? Nobody gives a fuck about that. They just want to have a good time. Like it's going too far. And to your point, once they get past all that stuff and they get all those statues taken down and they get all the movies knocked down and the TV shows, no Law and Order, fuck out of here. You can't watch Law and Order. You can't watch. They canceled Cops. They canceled Live PD or whatever the fuck it's called. They
which
can't.
which for me, all right. So the live PD thing is fucking hilarious because if you want transparency, what is more transparent than having a camera crew fucking follow them?
Yep, agreed, agreed. But in any case, even if it's cops, even if it's anything, first of all, like LAPD or Law and Order, whatever the fuck it is, Law and Order, all that shit is entertainment. It's entertainment. Like, so if something gets offensive to like, we're gonna get rid of everything. What are we gonna do? Are we just gonna watch like, I don't know,
Well, Training Day's got to go.
yeah, all of them,
Well,
all of them,
Training Day's
all
got to go.
all the
It's about a dirty cop.
all the cop movies, gone, gone. We can't have any entertainment anymore.
Rush Hour.
I guess what we're gonna end up with. We're gonna end up with no content. The only thing you're gonna be able to watch is Bob Ross. That's it. Bob Ross making his sweet little trees on his fucking paintings. That's all you're gonna be able to watch.
Happy Trees and Squirrels.
And maybe Elmo. That's it. Bob Ross and Elmo. That's all you get. How 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 are people going to deal with that shit? I mean, because to your point earlier, they're just going to take it another step further and another step further, and then they're going to start saying, "Well, we need to get rid of these books." And like I said, it's a slippery slope. So that what's the saying? If you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. Well, that's what we're doing. And I mean, think about American Indians. Like, how much do we really know about them? We know that they were robbed of their lands and killed and um just but how much do we really know? We we don't know anything because all of their history and artifacts have been just torched. gone. Like we only know what we know from the ones that survived and the ones that passed down their traditions and their stories and this and that. Otherwise, we don't know shit other than they own fucking casinos. Like
Yeah, I mean, so
that's what happens when you get rid of all the history.
yeah, yeah, and one of the things that recently happened in my area, there was a slave block where they used to do like slave auctions, and they removed the block, and it was removed and then put in a museum, and I think that that is the right approach because we need to be reminded of the sins of our past. We need to be reminded of where we came from. Totally obliterating that isn't the answer. We need to change our history books to be more inclusive so that it's not just one side of the story being told. Um, so I mean, I do feel like some of the shit can go away that we don't need it. Like the Confederate statues, all right, fucking go, like bye. They didn't win the war. Like if that's your
But
history,
but to
whatever.
but to your point, those have a place in a museum because
Mhm.
if we're truly being um, parents, if we're truly being teachers to the youth, that's what sparks up conversation, and that's where you can say, well, this person did this because of this. This general thought he was on the right side because they were fighting against this, but it turns out that that wasn't such a great thing. And it opens conversations so that you can explain to your kids, so that little white kids can understand, wow, slavery was fucked up. Like, and grow up getting it. But you're not going to get those conversations without the conversation piece to start off the conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, not everybody's going to sit there and just start talking about their kids about historical things out of nowhere, out of the blue. But if something sparks it, and this happens to me with my son all the time, like, uh, and maybe it's not a historical thing, but in any conversation, we'll be driving and I'll notice something and it'll spark up a conversation, even with social things or um, just stuff that he needs to know. If we see somebody, heroined out and they're doing the lean, I'm going to talk to him about that. Um, and no, we probably wouldn't have had that conversation if I didn't see that fucking person. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So yeah, it does kind of matter, and again, it's a slippery slope.
yeah. I mean, I completely agree with that. I think that you know you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been, and
No doubt.
I think a lot of what's going on as far as like the Confederate flag and all that, like with NASCAR banning the Confederate flag. You know what? Honestly, I feel like that's they're not in it for supporting the cause. I think they're in it for like protecting their business. Um,
Well, um,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
bandwagoning.
No, I would probably agree with that. I would probably agree with that. But is it the right move?
Yeah,
Whether
I mean,
whether they really support the cause or not, is it the right move?
I mean,
Because
absolutely. I think
you can't deny that the Confederate flag at some point was basically a call for the racists to get together and you know
yeah,
unfortunately there's a lot of people who look at it differently and look at it as almost like a patriotic type of thing, a call to the South, and they have a bond with it, and I understand that.
Do you
But when you
remember? Do you remember when Andre 3000 caught flack for wearing the Confederate flag as a belt buckle?
No, I don't remember that, but I mean, shit, wasn't like the General Lee like the Confederate flag like
Yeah,
from Dukes of Hazzard? Like,
yeah,
I mean, I understand the connection, but if let's say, um, I don't know, let's say this Patriots hat I'm wearing, I love the Patriots. You know, the Patriots are my team. I love them. But if it came out that they're, you know, just systematically racist, then maybe I might think about wearing it again. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that connection wouldn't be so strong if I knew that was the case. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, maybe that's not the best example, but I'm just throwing shit out there. Um, but
On
whatever.
the same uh, on the same token, it's like people talking about boycotting Coca Cola because the John Pepperton who created uh, Coca Cola was a Confederate general, or if he was a colonel, and now they're calling for the boycott of Coca Cola.
Well, we already talked about this in
Yeah,
the last pod. Like, I am not changing what I enjoy because some guy was an asshole. Like, sorry, we're I'm still dancing to the remix to Ignition. It's just it's just not going to change. Like, because again, if you do that, you have to check in everything. You have to check on everything, and if you're going to take a stand on one thing, you have to take that same stand everywhere. And I don't have time to check all these fucking sources.
I mean Tommy Hilfiger is still being sold.
It's your choice. You don't have to buy it.
Mm,
Nobody's saying you have to buy it. I am choosing to say I cannot pick and choose who gets my money, who gets my support, because there's too much research involved in all of that, and there's too much stuff that we don't even know for the stuff that we would we would give them the pass, but that person could be some degenerate, and we don't even know. He could smack his wife around, he could smack his kids around. We don't even know. You don't know. You don't know how many of these actors that you watch are doing that. You don't know how many of these musicians that you're listening to do bad things. So unless you're going to police every single one of them, but we're going back. Let's let's
yeah,
let's move on. Um, so the last protests I want to talk about are just about as ridiculous as you can get. So I saw in the news there's, I guess, like these, every state has like their main doctor that's handling the pandemic and this and that. And there's these people who are pissed off at the doctors, so they're harassing them and they're protesting like at their houses. They're sending them hate mail. They're like they're literally just like to the point where these people have resigned. And I wish I had wrote down who exactly it was, and that's, I got to do more. I got to be better at that, like actually writing down the names and giving some more detail, because it just sounds like I'm just pulling shit out of my ass, but I'm really not. You can look it up. um which is fucking bananas. Like, these people are just doing their jobs. And as a matter of fact, I saw it today on the news. um Fuck, what state was it? In one of the states, this I want to say it was Alabama. The city council voted to a tie to, like, get rid of the mandate to wear masks, even though the doctors were there saying like you can't do this. Like, this is just, it's too much risk. And even with their numbers spiking, they, like, nobody cares about what the doctors are saying these days.
yeah.
Nobody cares. And it's like, well, do you have a degree? You're telling me you know better than the doctors? Because they told you this shit was going to spike if you open too soon. They told you this shit was going to spike if you start easing restrictions on social distancing and masks and all of that stuff. And guess what it's doing? It's spiking everywhere. Everywhere except for where people did the right thing, took their time, and are slowly reopening based on the numbers, which is what we talked about weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look, I
you've got communities that are like double what they were in April. So they're not going down. They're going way up. Way up.
yeah.
And how does that affect everybody else? Because then that wave, all those people traveling, goes back to the states that did it the right way.
Yep.
It's fucking insane. It's fucking bananas.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, like Virginia, our governor is a physician. He's the only sitting governor that is a physician. And as frustrated as I've been with Governor Northam at points during this about certain things, what I can argue is his approach to reopening is on the air of caution. And most doctors like operate like that. They're going to err on the side of caution for your safety, like for your well-being.
Yeah.
So so that approach by states of taking your time and like slowly, phasing up makes more sense than fucking just wild westing it and just setting everyone back because I don't know if our country can endure a second shutdown. I don't know if mom and pop businesses are going to be able to endure a
They're not
second
gonna.
shutdown.
They're not gonna. They've already made the decision. Based on what's happened already, they've made the decision to say people are gonna die. Fuck it. Let's try to get this vaccine here as soon as we can. Let's try to come up with some forms of treatment. Which, by the way, there were some good for extreme cases in the UK. They've come up with some like simple steroid that helps the most extreme cases, but that's only the most
Yeah,
extreme ones.
it's very
So
expensive.
I'm sure. No, it's actually pretty cheap. Um, I'm sure our president will be using that shit tomorrow, but but
Along with bleach and hydrochloroquine.
oh yeah, he's fucking Jesus Christ. Um, but yeah, it's perplexing in so many ways, and it goes back to what we said weeks and weeks and weeks ago, that if the federal government just put out these mandates, put out these and Trump can put pressure on people. He was already trying to do it to get people to reopen. Well, if you just followed the numbers, just follow the numbers, set out the guideline. This is the game plan. When you get to this point, which is the curve or the flat line or whatever, then you can start doing this shit little by little. Until then, you can't. Stop fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
You're there's so much at risk here. And again, they've made the decision to just let people die and so that the economy doesn't suffer anymore. And it is what it is. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. If they could tell you the truth, that's what they would tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to have a conversation with someone earlier about this, and I was trying to explain to them, because they were, talking about being frustrated about, the phase 3 not reopening, and I, I was trying to use an analogy that would make sense to them, and the best analogy I came up with was like the lottery. So, you win the lottery, you have two options. They can give you,
The lump
a
sum.
paid the lump sum now at a reduced amount,
Yep.
but you get it all now.
Yep.
Um, or you can phase it out over 20 years. You get a larger payday.
Yeah, lump sum
And
is way less.
yeah, well, the problem was like with this COVID thing is like the reason they're saying to phase it over a period of time is so that our hospitals don't get overwhelmed, so that our system doesn't get overwhelmed. Because
Yeah.
then it's not just people with COVID that are dying.
Yeah.
It's Joe Schmo with a heart attack, Joe Schmo who was in an accident,
Yeah.
you know, Joe Schmo who fucking has diabetes,
Yep.
because then they're not able to get the services. And then physicians and doctors have to make hard decisions of whose life is more important. Do you help the
And
person who's most likely to survive?
yeah, yeah, and to your point, a lot of these southern and midwestern states are getting to that point. They're getting closer to hospital capacities and stuff. And that's why this is so dangerous. But in that city council meeting that I was talking about earlier, you still had people in this meeting asking if masks are necessary or if the media is making this a like bigger than what it really is. Like they're following the rhetoric that was displayed by our leadership in the beginning of this thing, and they're still questioning it. You know, they're Costco guys everywhere. Like you all are sheep, you all are sheep. They're selling T-shirts that are propagating this bullshit. Like until it hits them personally, until their grandmother dies, until they feel what it's like to have their lungs fucking, just not being able to get enough oxygen to breathe, then they'll understand.
Well,
So to
and
all
at the
those
end of the day,
assholes, I hope they get it. Fuck them. I hope they all get it. Fuck
well,
you, you
and
cocksuckers.
and at the end of the day, like yes, I do think that media has exaggerated things a bit because that's what media does. Eh, No different than with the protests, no different with a lot of this. Like they make like they want a news story, so they're going to take a grain of sand and turn it into a rock.
Yeah, but
Do,
but
doesn't mean it's any less true.
but on both ends, but on both
Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
So you have the CNNs and the MSNBCs that are overplaying things maybe a little bit, but then you have Fox News downplay, like just going by whatever the administration's cues are. So if
yeah.
Trump is saying, like in the beginning, this is nothing, flu, 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 Fox News is saying this is nothing, flu, flu, flu. When Trump says hydrochloroquine is good, it's the next big thing, Fox News is going nuts saying, "Oh yeah, hydrochloroquine is the fucking shit."
I
Like,
wonder how many dollars he has in hydrochloroquine.
who knows? Because we don't even want to get into all of that bullshit. But let's move on because this is too heavy and everybody's just stuck with too heavy shit. We're spending way too much time on these heavy topics. Let's get to the lighter stuff. Um, let's talk about these. So a result of these things, obviously these grocery store shortages. I've noticed there's much more toilet paper in the aisles these days, so that's a great thing for everybody's asses. Um, kudos to your bums. What do you got to say about that?
So what I think is interesting is there's still large amounts of shortages in grocery stores, and like now they're not limiting how many cans of fucking corn you can get or whatever, but there's like huge shortages. Like you go down the canned corn aisle, and it's completely like sold out. And I'm like, okay, we're starting to phase towards like people going back to work, da da da. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. The manufacturers are still making canned corn. Like,
Yes, but and on the surface, I understand what you're saying, but like I went to a Target recently, and it was nowhere near. The shelves were like more than half empty. The racks more than half empty. Um, I think it's because if I'm being honest, I think it's because there have been many factories that have closed down. And even with reopening, you still have to put in precautionary measures and all of this stuff.
yeah,
And so even reopening, they're probably reopening at limited capacities. They're you know shipping all, like everything, uh, even like imported goods has to probably pass certain standards to get to the point where they can get to the store. So I think, if I'm being honest, I think that all that shit is legit, and it's just like a byproduct of, basically the virus. So yeah, so it's in my opinion, it's the factories, it's everything, it's the whole infrastructure that has been disabled, and um that's why you don't see full stocks of anything. They're trying to get out what they can, with what they have, because if you're installing dividers and stuff in between workers and all of that stuff, it takes time. You're not at full capacity. I could be wrong.
All right, so I think it's a combination. I think that yes, they are having problems with distribution because you got to think with more being consumed at the distribution center, it's going to be harder to spread that product through X amount of stores or whatever. Yes, I believe that. But I also think that they're manipulating the consumer, and products that wouldn't fly off the shelves in the past because they might have been pricier than other products. Um, I think they're like, all right, well, we'll push this product out
Like
before
what?
we restock. So, like, let's say there's a
Like
off-brand
double
or a name
stuffed
brand.
Oreos?
No, but like, let's say there's an off-brand or a double, like a premier brand, an off-brand, and then a regular brand,
So they
like a
put the
generic brand.
premier brands out first.
Yeah, and they, so when they restock, the premier brand that sells for 4.99 is gone before they come back with the 2.99 generic or the 3.59 like name brand.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I mean, I'm just like, I'm looking at the grocery store and I'm like, huh, that's kind of funny. Like, all that's left is this expensive shit.
So so you get the premium steak tips, and then once all the premium steak tips are gone, you get like the manager special ones that are like a little bit brown on the edges.
I mean, you see like the organic meat, like the organic beef. Like,
Yeah,
oh, the organic beef, that's nineteen
plenty.
ninety nine
There's
a pound.
plenty. We got plenty of that stuff.
you know. And then
Purdue
later on, you come
Purdue
back.
chicken, baby. Not no antibiotics. We got all the good stuff here.
The funny thing is, like, what made me realize is this: I went to the store early in the day one day to go get meat or whatever, and I ended up buying something. And then I came back later on that day, and they had like the cheaper shit, and I was like, "The fuck is that? Like, where was that earlier?" I was like, these motherfuckers went to the back and was like, "Oh, word, we got rid of the expensive ass shit. Now I'm gonna hit them with the fucking the generic version."
Hey, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, there's people that take advantage of this thing left and right. Um, but it's funny that you noticed that. Um, so I think I've done a pretty good job this episode so far. Uh, I guess wifey was listening to me edit one of our podcasts recently, and she started bringing up the fact of how much I swear and what a potty mouth I am. So I think she's probably right. I think I probably do swear a little too much. So I've been trying to temper it a little bit this episode. Um, maybe not, but
You know what though? Like, here's my thoughts on swear words. Like, yes, there are times when it is absolutely not okay to swear. If you're
like
in
a church.
church, like, or you're in court, eh, don't swear. But
I don't
in
know, man.
conversation,
If I murdered somebody and I know I'm going down, I'm telling the judge to eat a big bag of dicks. I'm telling the prosecutor to go fuck their mother. Like, I'm swearing like a motherfucker in that scenario.
yeah, I mean, if you have nothing to lose, by all means. But but I mean, like, honestly, like, sometimes fuck is just what you like is the right word for to get for to get your point across.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's other ways to make your points, but I think I'm definitely guilty of maybe going little bit overboard.
Like sometimes you need the expletive. Like
I mean, I'm not apologizing for it, so don't get it twisted. I just think that maybe it's a little more productive for me not to drop as many f bombs or whatever. Um, so I don't necessarily disagree with that. I'm not gonna
yeah, I mean
change.
if we ever got rated, we'd probably it,
I mean,
it might cost us something.
I'm not gonna change, the way I talk or the way I do things, but um, it fuck it. Who gives a fuck? Fuck this bullshit.
You,
Go fuck yourself, you motherfuckers. If you don't like the way I say it, talk, eat a fucking bag of dicks and get the fuck out of here and go listen to something else.
yeah, I'm not gonna use fudge. I'm not gonna fucking this fudging guy.
Yeah. So so speaking of fucks, um, I wanted to talk about, and this is nothing new. This has been going on for a long time. These Facebook warriors, these Facebook activists that drive me fucking crazy. And this is why I barely pay attention to my Facebook. Facebook came out, and Facebook was used to be about you connecting with old friends, sharing pictures with family members and current friends, and it just used to be all just. It used to be a lovely place to just check into and see how everybody's doing and just enjoy. And now every time you go on there, some asshole is posting some fucking post about this political issue or that political issue. And it's just like, uh, where's the fun? The fun is gone. The wholesome innocence of it is gone because now you have plants. Now you have fake fucking, like, they're propagating fake bullshit that isn't even true, and they don't take the time to even check the facts before they repost it. And it's
and
just like just
and
spreading
there's
propaganda and bullshit.
and they're so mad because Facebook put a fact check over their fucking post. Have you seen that now?
I have not seen that, and I'm surprised.
So Facebook, one of Facebook's like newer features now is if you share something that is marginally true or is not true, like they will fucking put a little like a notice to the next person that says, fact check. Actually, only about 30% of this is true, and then they go through the details of it.
Well, thank God, because motherfuckers have been spreading like just false bullshit for years. And I see stuff, and instantly my brain says, this can't be true. And I look it up, and within 30 seconds, I know that this thing is false. But yet one Facebook warrior posts it, and then a million other Facebook warriors share it, and everybody believes it. And
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, you're not helping your cause by spreading false propaganda. You're just being an asshole. Like, just fucking show me a kid, a picture of your kid with fucking spaghettios all over their face. I don't need to see this stupid bullshit, this right wing bullshit, this left wing bullshit. Get that shit out of my Facebook. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to change most people's opinions who disagree with you. So, because anybody who posts this right wing bullshit and anybody who posts this left wing bullshit, their opinions are not going to change based on what you post. And if you think they are, you're a fucking moron. You're not informing the people that you think are going to change. Like, even when you post true stuff, even when the shit is legit, they don't care. They're not listening to you. They only believe what their outlets are telling them. The same way that you only believe what your outlets are telling you. So stop being a fucking Facebook warrior. Keep your goddamn political bullshit to yourself and let me see your beautiful little child just with eating Cheerios and having Cheerios dumping the bowl on top of their head. Like, that's what it was originally for.
Yeah,
Like,
brighten my day of with your dog chasing the ball.
yeah. Yes. Please, please, please bring back Facebook back to what it used to be. Get rid of these Facebook warriors. Guys, some of you have jobs, some of you don't. So all you Facebook warriors, um, either get a second job or get a first job. But cut this bullshit out. You're not changing opinions. You're not informing the masses. Nobody gives a fuck about your post. Nobody gives a fuck about your birthday, and nobody gives a fuck about your post. Yeah, you'll get likes. Who gives a fuck? It's from all the people who think the same way that you do. You're not changing anything. Open your mind. The only way that progress is going to be made is through discussion with people who think differently than you.
Well, and that's just it. If you're not willing to have the discussion and be able to see it from someone else's perspective and learn from it, then we shouldn't be posting shit. You know what I'm saying?
But
Because
it's
no
just,
matter
it's not
how, no
helping
matter
anything.
how, yeah. I mean, look, here's the way things are. There's what you believe, what they believe, and then somewhere in the middle is probably the truth. Just like everything in life, like perspective is a big piece of that. It's your perspective, their perspective. But
Which is exactly why I keep my ears both in my ears open to both sides, because there's plenty of times where I say Trump's an asshole for doing this or that, but there's other times where I say, geez, I wonder why they're saying fake news, because they're criticizing this dumb shit that just who gives a fuck about, like, and
like he did not say drink bleach
well, I mean, yeah, that's an
or
example,
or
but
inject it.
yeah, but there's I mean, there's more than that. There's just stuff that they pump out and make into a big deal, the far left,
Yeah.
that and they're just so reluctant to give him any credit because they hate him so much that maybe once in a while he gets it right. So if he gets it right, it's okay to say, well, thank God he got that one right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to say he was an asshole here, but he did okay here.
Mm-hmm.
He he fucked this up, but at least he got this right. And again, I think he's a fucking moron. I think he's he has his, obviously, the con man qualities are off the chain, but um I mean, Jesus Christ, there's so many examples of just his his tone deaf just approach to things. Um and you can't I can't support somebody like that, but whatever. Um that's for everybody to make their own choice. But I guess what I'm pushing is stop having such a closed mind. Like, listen, it's okay to say, I know you hate him, but it's okay to say if he got something right.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I know you love him, like you wish he would drag his orange balls across your fucking face, but it's okay to say he did something wrong. the fuck? And but getting back to the main topic is you Facebook warriors need to do the same fucking thing.
Yep.
Like or just stop. Just stop. Let me see your little fluffy dog. Like do something better with your time. If you're such an activist, get your ass out there and do something. Go start fucking supporting some of these causes and actually making a difference versus
Well,
sitting behind your little keyboard and just posting this and posting that.
and for me,
Post this right here. Post this.
the worst is the ones who have got an opinion but have done nothing with that opinion. Like, did you vote? Did you vote? Number one, very first question I ask anyone who has an opinion: did you vote? Because if you didn't vote, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything you got to fucking say from that point on.
Well, I
If you
mean,
didn't vote, no. Look, here's my thing.
what if I
You're
got
gonna
into a
talk,
car accident on my way to vote?
no, I'm saying like if you're going to have an opinion on the topics, you didn't want any part in like the
What
process.
what if my wife went into like
Well,
started
then that's your
having our
fault.
baby when we were on our way to vote?
Well, you should have stopped at the polls first. Mailed it in. Fucking
Just
go vote. Vote.
squeeze that pussy, baby. We gotta
Sign
knock
up.
this
Sign
we
up.
got
Sign up.
we gotta knock this vote out. Like, just
Sign up.
hold on. Oh, water? What water, bro? Oh shit! Get a mop and let's keep going. Come on, we can do this.
Rock the vote. Vote it out.
Fucking babies just being popping out, and especially with COVID right now, they're like, oh, we got to delay. We got to do all the sanitation. Sorry, like this is like a 30-minute delay until we clean this mess up, until we allow more voters in. Um, sorry,
So
I didn't mean to step on your point.
no, I mean, I guess that's it. But I one of the things I wanted to talk about this week was like just overly angry people. Like I don't know if you've ever like encountered this.
Dude,
So
wifey deals with them all the time because, like, the way the clinics are set up right now, they're doing like telemedicine or whatever, and all these fuckers call her because she's the at the front line between them and the doctors. And these
right.
motherfuckers need their oxy. They are not fucking around. They need their oxy. So she takes missiles and bullets and grenades because these cocksuckers are not taking no for an answer. But continue.
So the other day I'm driving down the road and you know I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. I'm just kind of cruising, and I look over to my right side, and this guy's just got the scowl on his face, and he's pissed off. I can tell he's pissed off at the world or something. Something has just started his day fucking shitty as fuck.
Yep.
So like, I mean, he's not on his phone. He's not talking on his Bluetooth, but he's cussing at the air. Like I'm watching this guy just fucking like.
We've all been there. You've been there too. Don't try
So
to
I've been
act like you haven't been there.
no, like so I've been there. So like I'm like, all right, man, dude, this is getting like having a bad morning. So you say we progress down the road, and at one point, like I end up in front of him, but like a car like cuts me off, and I have to like slow down. So this motherfucker like honks me, like he's just like, meh, meh. And I'm just like, bro, like what do you want me to do? Like I can't get by, like. So I stick my hand out of the moonroof, like of my car. I'm just like, fuck you want me to do? So then he around me, and he pulls up. He's just got this nasty fucking scowl on his face, and now like I'm not mad. I'm not mad because I'm laughing at how angry this dude is about life and just like his day. So
So
like I now I make it a point like to like drive beside this dude like the whole way as far as I can to just smile at him and just like kind of laugh at how angry he is.
you know what would have been better if you stuck your hand like out of the sunroof, and they just did like pew pew pew, like with like a little gunshot, like pew pew pew, and smiled at him.
but but this dude, by the time like I ended up having to break off from him, like he was so angry just because I was smiling at him and like trying to lighten this dude's day up because I could tell he was pissed. He just was not having it.
Dude,
But
there's nothing that satisfies me more than dealing with these road rage assholes, and this is why I'm probably gonna die from getting shot from a road rage asshole. I'm letting everybody know right now. Cause of death for me, road rage asshole. Because I don't play the little games with them, but when they do shit like that, I will, hey, like I will make it a point, especially when they give me the fuck you, like, and give me the middle finger, and they're just so angry. I'm like, hey, it's okay, I still love you. Like, they get so fucking heated, dude. They like you can tell. I've had dudes telling me, pull over, like they want to fight me. And I'll be like, yeah, let's pull over. And I'll act like I'm gonna get off on the exit, like if I'm on the highway, and I'll put the blinkers on and I'll act like I'm gonna get off. And at the last minute, doop, I go the other.
so now he's stuck going off the exit.
I mean, like, especially if like I got my kid with me or something, like I'm not gonna fight somebody over some stupid shit. But but um but yeah, it gives me and it's kind of a fucked up thing that it gives me this pleasure. but but it really does. Like I really find enjoyment out of fucking with these people who get
Yeah,
so amped. And some of them are the biggest pussies you will ever see in your life. Some of them are badasses. Don't get me wrong. They just look for a reason to fight. So you're better off just avoiding them all, because some of these motherfuckers will fuck you up. You know, they'll grab. They have weapons ready to go. So you're better off just staying away from it completely. But some of these guys are the biggest pussies, and they feel like they're these big tough guys because they're in a big truck, you know, and they think they can intimidate you because they're in a big ass truck. So for the tough guys, keep doing your thing, guy. Like I ain't mad at you. But for those pussies, go get some COVID. Get the fuck out of my face.
yeah.
But it is, to your point, it's fucking hilarious when you see them get that mad. It's so funny. It really is. It just makes you feel so much better about yourself.
Well, and here's the thing, like at the end of the day, try this. The next time someone's nasty or shitty with you, like don't respond the way they want you to respond. Like don't be a dickhead. Like fucking just completely go the other way. Smile, laugh at them. Like
well,
because it pisses them off even more.
well, to if you really want to give good advice, and I agree that that is great. It's fun to fuck with people. It really is. But it's like I was talking to my dad today. My dad's going through a lot of health issues or whatever, and he has to deal with all these, you know, hospital folk. And you know, sometimes you don't want to do what they tell you to do. You're old and you're uncomfortable, and um, you know, you got to deal with some shitty stuff. So I told him, I said, you know, Dad, the more charming you are, the more just nice you are to these people, the more they're gonna want to take care of you better. So just kill them with kindness. Don't be the old curmudgeon. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're better off that way. But
Well, well, I think that's my thought too. Is like when someone's reacting and being shitty and being negative and angry, the one of two things is going to happen. Either your response to them of you smiling and like laughing or like being positive is going to piss them off even more, or maybe they're just gonna be like, you know what, kind of being a dick. Haha, you're right. And then you might have affected their day.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I found just with personal experiences, the better you treat people, the better they're gonna fix your problem. You know, like they might have fucked up, they might have made a mistake, but if you treat them like an asshole, they're not going to be rushing to fix that mistake. If you're a cocksucker, if you treat them with some kindness and understand that sometimes people make mistakes, they're going to go out of their way to make it better because most people are good.
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't understand why people can't understand. Most people are good. Most people want to do the right things. We always focus on the assholes. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so I was reading an article not too long ago, and it was talking about how um, if you're gonna have sex with the, like
To wear the mask.
like the Tinder or whatever you doing random hookups or whatever, like wear a mask. And I guess the mask is more important than your dick just swimming in them juices. And it baffled me. It totally baffled me because like I guess I get like kissing and stuff, because this virus comes
Yeah.
out that way. Sorry. Um, but your dick is inside a wet sniz. Like, what- like it's more transmittable by kissing someone than it is from, I guess. So I don't know. I guess there's not much to say about this. Like, if you're gonna do random hookups, wear a mask to protect yourself. And I would suggest wearing a condom, but if not, fuck it.
Well, I I would assume that they meant that wearing a mask in addition to a condom when you're fucking doing a random hookup would probably be a very
They
good
did,
idea.
but they didn't specify that. They didn't specify mask plus condom. They were just like, dick wet is okay, mouth wet not so okay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of it. I mean, I don't really have much to
Well,
add to that.
so if you think about this though, there hasn't been a huge hooker outbreak of COVID.
But how the hell would we know?
Well, I'm saying they would probably have the data like, oh, we had a major outbreak from prostitution, but you know why? You know why? You know
Nevada was
why?
shut down.
You know why there was an outbreak with prostitutes? Because they don't kiss their clients.
True, but also Nevada was shut down. I
But
mean, can
you
can
think
you
you do you think prostitution doesn't go on in other places?
no, but can you honestly tell me that that I don't know what the hell I'm saying.
Look, I don't have any inside data. Like,
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like if Johns is sticking their things in buttholes, like who's to say that that's more COVID transmittable than dudes sticking their things in mouth holes? I don't know. I mean, maybe we need to start some data on this. They have the graphs on the corona stuff, like the states by deaths and cases and all of that stuff. Cases created by blowjobs versus cases created by anal sex.
Well, do you think about it? Like, do you think that prostitutes now are like putting that in their ad, like no mask, no service?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I
You
mean,
got the
Like, it's no bareback blowjobs, no fucking whatever. Like,
Chi-
no mass, no service.
Chicks have probably like at this point, chicks have probably manipulated masks to where like they staple the condom. Uh, they cut a hole out and staple the condom, so they have like a mask condom. Gotta be safe.
But it's like it's like an inner condom, so he just sticks his dick in the hole. Like the
It's a,
bubble boy shit.
it's a fucking glory hole condom masks, glory hole masks. We just created another invention, dude. Like, wait, we did it
It's the
again.
mask with the rubber built in
We
for
did it
oral.
again. Yes, we did it again. A guy sees the mask with the big hole in the middle. He just pops it right in. Holy shit, we're fucking awesome.
She
We
gets
need
she gets she maintains her protection the whole time.
we need to get some patents for this shit because this is crazy. Um, so I was watching TV the other day, and after I talk about uh, is it Bloodsport,
Yeah.
um, Cobra comes on. Sylvester Stallone, back in the '80s, young stud Sylvester Stallone, and he had some montages. Don't get me wrong, but what caught me with that was the one-liners. The quotes were just fucking gold, Jerry, gold. He's one of, and you remember those one-liners like Terminator, I'll be
Yeah.
back, like those types of things. But these just made me laugh. Just I laughed out loud, just like I did with Bloodsport. And when you watch these old things, it's just fucking awesome. Um, so one of his one-liners, he says, "This is where the law ends and I start." All right. Here's another one. You're the disease and I'm the cure. The guy he was trying to, you know, apprehend. We're the future. No, you're history. Imagine like a real life cop saying this stuff. He says, he says, um, "Hey dirtbag, you're a lousy shot. I don't like lousy shots. You wasted a kid for nothing. Now I think it's time to waste you." So he's announcing to him, I'm about to like shoot you, dude. Like, and oh man, like there were probably more, but just these cheesy one-liners were just so fucking funny to me. And if you can go back and watch any of these old action movies, like it's worth its weight in gold. It's fucking awesome. I love
Yeah.
it.
I mean, any Steven Seagal movie has probably about 70 of them.
And the montages, of course.
Yeah. Uh, it's funny, man, because like you got to think like when they were writing these scripts, they have these writing parties and they're writing the script. And, like some guy, like some writer is like, and he's like reads it back. He's like, yeah, this is my thoughts.
This is badass, bro.
This is badass, bro. Like, look at it. Look, you see how I used wasted there and tied it all back in. Like,
Dude, I mean, he's, he said, "You're the disease and I'm the cure." like some writer thought that was gold. Like he's like, "Oh man, wait to hear these fucking lines, bro. I got it. I got it." But it was a different time. And when we first watched it, we didn't realize how ridiculous it was. Maybe because we were younger or whatever, but it's you know, it, looking back, there's just so many movies that do all of this stuff, and it's just so fun to watch them again. It just you can't help but laugh. At this point, you can't help but laugh.
I think a fun challenge would be to like have a whole day where all you could do is one liners from movies. I think
Jesus Christ! No matter what
like
was said to you,
yeah. So anything anyone said to you, you had to use a one line response from a movie.
holy shit! Wow, that would take a lot of research.
But it would be hilarious. Like
Yeah, but I mean, if you but to fit it in the context, because most of them are just like shitting on criminals. So I mean, if you were a cop, it might be fun.
but what if the context didn't have to make sense? Like what if you could only use context from one movie? Like that movie, like Cobra, for example. Just, just have a
No,
conversation.
it wouldn't work. You would need more of a catalog than that.
Someone says some shit to you and you're like, you're the cancer or you're the disease and I'm the cure. They're like,
That's
what?
gonna, that's gonna be my new shit going forward. Anytime anybody says something stupid to me, I'm gonna be like, "You're the disease, and I'm the cure."
What did you say to me? And then you give them the next line. Like,
No, just put it into context. You're at Walmart. You're at Walmart, and they fucked up like with the price, or they got to do a price check or some shit like that, and you're getting frustrated, and you're just like, "You're the disease, and I'm the cure." Just any situation. You go to the registry of motor vehicles, and they're like, "Sir, you don't have the proper documents here. The title's just it's signed incorrectly." Just look at him, and you be like, "You're the disease, and I'm the cure."
so, so yesterday I
Wait,
went to Charleston.
wait, did he keep thinking of
No, no, it's,
scenarios for this?
yesterday I went to Charlestown and I drove all the way there. When I got there, I didn't have my driver's license. And when the girl asked me for my ID and I didn't have it, how nice would it have been to be like, "You're the disease, and I'm the cure." Like,
Yeah, you got to use the Batman voice, so because the Batman voice is hilarious. Like I do it with my grandkids. Like I'd be like, "Go eat your macaroni and cheese before the Joker comes." so, so like, I'm just
can I
my
can I go outside? You're the disease, and I'm the cure.
wifey comes in. What the hell's all this mess? What do you
I
mean?
am the disease, and you're the cure.
No, what do you mean? What the fuck? What this is a huge mess. What are you doing in here? You're the disease. That line is great. You can use it like it has no context, so you can use it anywhere. Cop comes to you. Cop comes to you. Sir, do you know why I pulled you over? You're the disease. Oh shit. anyway, anyways, I don't have any more examples. Um, so so I, I I was watching, whatever, and a commercial came on for this product called the Power Fit, which is basically a a disease, and I'm the cure. No, it's like a those steps when you do like step aerobics. It looks just like that, but I guess it's like has a motor in it, so it vibrates. So so I guess if you like, supposedly it's supposed to help you lose weight just because it vibrates, which makes no fucking sense to me. Like it's just another example of just people preying on people's stupidities. Um, like like there were chicks it almost vibrates so much that chicks twerk. Like it teaches chicks to twerk without twerking because they get in these squat positions and these things just vibrating like crazy, and supposedly it's supposed to help you lose weight. And of course they show the before and after and blah 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 and all of this bullshit. But it's like, how the fuck is standing or sitting or leaning on something that vibrates gonna make you lose weight? It just it speaks to the volume of just preying on people's stupidities.
I mean, if that was the case, you know how many broads who fucking fuck their vibrators all day, every day would be fucking 30 pounds. Like,
Not, dude. If you want to take it a step further, if you really wanted to, I guess it's not the same effect, but just fucking squat on the washer and throw the spin cycle on. Like, I maybe I'm stupid. Maybe the science of it is over my head, but pretty sure you're not going to lose weight by standing on something that vibrates. I mean, it reminds me of the shake weight, which South Park made fun of hilariously. Like,
I mean, my thing is, if the vibration was extreme enough, maybe you would get some muscle stimulation because your muscles are adjusting to the
I mean,
shift. So you're
that would have to
constantly,
be some pretty extreme
yeah, but it would have to be
vibration,
fucking violent shaking, like back and forth.
a lot more motor than that fucking little step probably has. Honestly, I think it's just like a glorified sex toy where like chicks look at it and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can lose weight while I'm using that." And then when they actually get it home, they just fucking sit on it.
You read the disclaimer on the package. What does it say?
You're the disease, and I'm the cure. Maybe that would be a good slogan. That's a perfect slogan. The power lift. You're the disease, and I'm the cure. It's splattered over everything. So we yeah, go ahead.
I was like, you're campaigning for president.
No, I don't think that will work in that scenario because you're like shitting on the constituents.
Well,
Oh man, we're gonna see like protester signs saying that after this. Black Lives Matter, and then the next person next to him is gonna be like, "You're the disease, I'm the cure."
cured. Hey, you know what? That works though. Like
True.
in that circumstance.
It works there. Um, so so let's just throw it out there because we were gonna do a segment with our worst song ever, and for whatever reason we couldn't because we're stupid and we haven't figured it out yet. We couldn't get the audio to work. Um, but hopefully we'll get it working going forward. If not, fuck it. This will be the last time we talk about it.
And maybe Ralph could like edit it in post production.
Possibly. I might be able to throw some videos in and then just cut this whole segment out. Um,
It'll be right here.
but with all the restrictions and stuff, with the YouTube restrictions, I think I can only show so much. Um, so, anyways, getting back, worst song ever. What you got?
Luca
Luca,
by Vega. What's
Suzanne Vega.
Suzanne Vega? Do you remember that song?
I remember that song as a young child, and it got a lot of airplay. And as a matter of fact, on Spotify, it's still her number one song.
It's terrible.
And for those that don't know it, it's kind of weird. She basically is like, my name is Luca. I live on the second floor. I live upstairs from you. Something never seen me before. So, Jesus Christ, I can't even remember. The hell was the name of the group that did mine? Um, God damn it! Now I completely forgot. So hold on. I'm gonna. So you got Luca, Suzanne Vega, and my choice was "Wiggle It" from Two in a Room, which is a horrible song that for some reason got a lot of radio airplay back in I think the 90s, and just horrible raps. The chorus was like, "Wiggle it just a little bit. I want to see you wiggle it." Like just probably the biggest trash song you could ever listen to. But it made money. I don't. For me, that song, if I'm being honest, is the disease, and I'm the cure. All right, that's it. Fuck this. We're out. Later.